Welcome to Coin Engineer, everyone. Today we will take a look at the big year 2024 together. While it was a great year for Bitcoin investors, it was a truly disastrous year for altcoin investors. Especially the recent drop has really hurt many investors. What we aim for in this video is to take a general look at 2024 and accept that such events could happen in 2025 and be prepared accordingly. Of course, not everything that happened was bad, but the bad events really hurt a lot. For this video, I had to go quite a bit into the past, dig through news, and look into archives, guys. Maybe there are things I've forgotten among them, so if you think of anything, please write it in the comments. That's why I'm hoping for a nice like on this video. Maybe there are things I've forgotten among them, so if you think of anything, please write it in the comments. So, I'm hoping for a nice like on this video. We're expecting at least 1,000 likes, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, don't hesitate to do so. This year we will be posting many more videos compared to previous years. The approval of the spot Bitcoin ETF is undoubtedly the most significant event of this year, and it was also the reason behind Bitcoin's rise, guys. So now, these stock markets, mean the global markets we know, have officially accepted Bitcoin and have started investing at significant levels. This event took place at the beginning of 2024, guys. This was actually the reason that triggered this rise. The approval of the ETFs. After that, Bitcoin may never drop to these levels again. The reason Bitcoin is where it is today, meaning it has surpassed 100,000. It's currently a bit below 100,000. But the first event that triggered its rise to those levels was this: the approval of Bitcoin ETFs. Later, the Ethereum ETF was approved. It didn't have the same impact as Bitcoin, guys. Maybe we'll see its potential realized in 2025, which is this year. When we enter the CoinMarketCap site, as you can see here, guys, these are the Bitcoin ETFs. So it's now possible to invest in Bitcoin through these fund companies. Since we are already interested in crypto, it does not make sense to invest in these funds. I would just go directly and invest in Bitcoin. But as we mentioned, these serve as a bridge. Both institutional investors and those who are distant from the cryptocurrency market, meaning for those in the stock market, whether it's for the S&P 500 or NASDAQ, guys. That's why it's very important. So which ETFs are next, guys? Of course, we don't know this, but there are some rumors and predictions in the market. Of course, at the top of the list is XRP. The last ETF applications were rejected. But if it gets approved at some point, it wouldn't be surprising at all. Especially after its performance in 2024. It had gained an incredible momentum. In terms of market cap, it's in third place. So the Bitcoin ETF was approved and the Ethereum ETF was approved. Why not Ripple? One can't help but think about this. Of course, there's a lot of talk about this in Hedera. If the approval of altcoin ETFs is on the table, it wouldn't be surprising to see Hedera on that list. Besides that, Solana could be a possibility. As we said, it's impossible to know this right now, but if the strong ones in terms of market cap and the altcoins that have made a name for themselves in the market get approved, then they will be approved for spot ETFs. And the approval of a spot ETF doesn't always mean there will be an incredible surge. But it would still be an important piece of news, of course. Besides that, we can also mention Litecoin, guys. Those who know Litecoin know it well. It's one of the few cryptocurrencies that has had a certain strength in the market for years. So, the next cryptocurrencies could be these spot ETFs. 25 years in prison for the FTX CEO. Of course, this was a topic that was talked about more in 2023. The collapse of FTX. But in 2024, this guy, or let's say this clown, was sentenced to prison. Cryptocurrency investors let out a sigh of relief. There were people who suffered incredibly losses. We also wrote about it in the news. There was a loss of over 8 billion at that time. It's one of the pioneers of Bitcoin's decline to around $16,000 the previous year. This was also important piece of news for 2024. Maybe one of the most important news items on this list was the Bitcoin halving event. Halving is the situation where the number of Bitcoins obtained during mining, it is during the creation of Bitcoin, is reduced by half every 4 years, folks. It shrinks every 4 years. This supports one of the most important points of Bitcoin: limited supply. Of course, many people thought that as soon as the halving occurred, it would reflect on the price, and in fact significant losses were incurred. However, the results of halving are something that will be seen in the long term rather than the short term, folks. As you can see, the next halving will occur in 4 years, 171 weeks later. After that halving, if Bitcoin miners are earning 10, they will start earning 5. You can think of it this way. In another 4 years, if they are earning 5, they will start earning 2.5. Again, if they are earning 5 in another 4 years, they will start earning 2.5. You can think of it this way. This actually means that every time a halving occurs, that is, when the Bitcoin halving takes place, Bitcoin mining will become a bit more difficult. You can also check out our detailed news about halving on our website. A massive Bitcoin sale from Germany. At one point, Bitcoin was stuck between a certain range, folks. It was fluctuating between 60,000 and 70,000. At times, it even dipped down to 55,000. One of the bad events during that time was the German government's sale of its coins. In fact, the exact date is also available here, July 4th. They had a significant amount of Bitcoins, and they decided to sell them all at once. If we look at the graph, it corresponds to this point. So they caused a drop of more than 10% within a few days. Yes, there were worse drops afterwards, but the sale of Bitcoins by a government, that is, by a huge state, created a very negative atmosphere for the market. In fact, there were even those who thought we had entered a bear market back then. So there were even those who thought we would drop back down to $30,000. Memecoin scams. Yes, many meme coins have emerged. Our next item will be that, but there was no limit to these scams, folks. Whenever there was a trend, a token would be launched immediately and a rug pull would happen. So, after reaching a certain point, the project owners would sell off. Many people were actually losing their money, melting their funds. Of course, there were winners too. One of them is, for example, Hawk2Watt. You know that girl who was giving an interview? You should mention Hawk2Watt. The same thing happened here too. It caught a nice pump. So even if you had invested $10, look at how much money you would have had. Then, dropped similarly. So, there were drops. 90%, 99%. I'm talking about these kinds of ridiculous memecoins. Memecoin rally. Again, many memecoins made people a lot of money, folks. People who invested $100 or $200 ended up with maybe $100,000. Even $150,000. Of course, this was a trend, a seasonal thing. There is an investor who expects there to be 2 of these in 2025. Let's say memecoin is actually for traders. We had shared his views in a video like this, and you can watch that too. Of course, this trend happened with Solana in 2024. Dozens of cryptocurrencies experienced serious rises like this, but of course, hundreds of them also flopped. So, we think about 2024, we've been in the market for years. Usually, projects were talked about more. So, the purpose of this cryptocurrency, the intention behind its creation, and how it will benefit the system were discussed. But in 2024, there were more dog coins, and oh, there was also a cat coin. Let's get some of that. So a mouse coin has come out. These started to come to the forefront. At first, we were honestly making fun of them, but after seeing that they could actually bring in good money, we shifted our focus there. But we still have to admit that memecoins don't really have much of a purpose. It's important to understand how strong the community is, and it's important to follow trends, and rather than holding for the long term, take your profits and walk away after making good gains. Bitcoin has reached $100,000. Of course, we knew that Bitcoin would rise. $100,000 is like a psychological barrier. Friends, a new level is being added, right? That's why it was quite important for it to break through that level. And as you know, this happened quickly after Trump's election. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it's around $98,000. When Bitcoin reaches an all-time high, ATH, it means that everyone who has invested in Bitcoin, and I mean everyone, is in profit. It's the best scenario. It could happen, friends. Bitcoin has been hitting all-time highs, ATH, one after another. Then it broke the $100,000 mark. Of course, it went up a bit more than that. Now it seems to be accumulating at those price levels. However, we haven't seen same performance data in altcoins yet. We haven't even seen that in Ethereum. So after Bitcoin, there's Ethereum, right? Ultimately, both in terms of market cap and recognition in the market, Ethereum needs to rise now. Instead, meme coins, different. The new projects from that period brought in nice profits. But I believe that Ethereum is next, friends. I hope this year is the year of altcoins, not Bitcoin. Because as Bitcoin rises, it's also gaining dominance. So it's dominating the market, which negatively affects the altcoins. So it would be great for Bitcoin to be accumulating around these levels. It's been an extraordinary year for Michael Saylor. One of the figures for Bitcoin in 2024 was, of course, Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor has made many speeches. that could benefit Bitcoin. What's up? There are popular talks like buy Bitcoin and such. He is a famous and former businessman. This is someone who suffered serious losses during the dot-com bubble crisis, 2000. He has been focused on Bitcoin for years. He is constantly investing in Bitcoin. Of course, he holds incredible amounts of Bitcoin in his own company, MicroStrategy. It was a year where Michael Saylor was talked about a lot, and of course, Bitcoin's positive movements reflected on his company's shares. As you can see, when it was around the $100 level, it went all the way up to about $500 in the fall, let's say $470. It did take a bit of a hit afterward, but it roughly increased its market value by 2.5 to 3 times. Overall, companies or cryptocurrency exchanges that have invested significantly in Bitcoin, like Coinbase, have made their investors a lot of money. As you know, El Salvador made a big investment in Bitcoin. The country's leader shared his profits on Instagram. Let's put it on the screen now. These are credible things, guys. In the end, we're not talking about a small investor. You can see the profits made by the owner of a huge state. What was the most memorable cryptocurrency event for you in 2024, guys? Don't hesitate to share this with us. Maybe there are things we've forgotten. Many traumatic events have also occurred, like a war, but I tried to list things that are more specific to crypto. You can share the times or events when you made the most money, as well as the events when you lost the most money. And we are already publishing all these events on our website. You can follow all our news by visiting the news section on our website, guys. Our news is published completely free of charge and quickly. Thank you for watching up to this point, and if you haven't liked the video yet, don't forget to hit the like button. Take very good care of yourselves.